Welcome back to part 3 of our Marc Newson Revision Explainer. So far in our series, we've covered his roots and his deepest inspirations. Well, now we're setting the stage to explore his massive, completely boundary-breaking portfolio. We are going to lock in the exact objects and design categories you need to confidently conquer that upcoming designer profile exam. Okay, let's dive into this. Newson actually describes himself as a gun for hire. Now, you might be wondering, why use that phrase? It's because one of the most remarkable things about him as a creative is his vast cross-industry versatility. He absolutely refuses to be boxed into just one single design sector. Clients basically come to him with problems, and he acts as a high-end troubleshooter to solve them, no matter what industry they happen to be in.
So let's look at this multitude of designs.
Because he has successfully designed practically everything under the sun, we need to chunk his endless portfolio into highly testable buckets. So the crucial point is that your syllabus requires you to list 3 exact product categories. First up, transport. This includes everything from concept cars and bicycles to luxury aeroplanes. And get this, even suborbital spaceships. Second is technology. Think sleek mobile phones, precision Pentax cameras, and innovative smartwatches. And third, fashion and wearables, which covers his hugely popular Nike sneakers and iconic clothing lines for G-Star. Memorize these 3 buckets and you'll directly fulfill that exam requirement.
Moving right along to our next major focus, the Lockheed Lounge.
Now that we have the macro scale of his work, let's zoom in on the micro. We're going to slow the pace down for a second to look at his definitive early masterpiece, the piece that literally launched him into global stardom, the Lockheed Lounge. To really grasp the global significance of this specific piece of sculptural furniture, just consider its staggering auction price. We're talking over $1.5 million. That makes it one of the most expensive pieces of furniture ever sold by a living designer. It is a monumental achievement in design history, but where did that crazy fluid shape actually come from?
Well, the foundational shape of the lounge didn't just appear out of thin air. It was actually deeply rooted in a classical 19th century historical influence. Newson had the traditional chaise lounge in the back of his mind. Specifically, he was inspired by the graceful, sweeping curve you can see in Jacques-Louis David's famous classical portrait of Madame Récamier, who's painted reclining on one of those traditional lounges.
And this brilliantly illustrates Newson's genius. He took that traditional, historic shape and entirely revolutionized it. He originally envisioned the chair as this fluid, seamless globule of mercury. So to achieve that slick, metallic aesthetic, he utilized a hyper-futuristic aerodynamic style, painstakingly covering the form in riveted aluminum panels. Those panels directly echo vintage 1930s aircraft construction. It creates this absolutely jarring yet totally beautiful contrast.
It's exactly where aerospace meets furniture.
For your quiz, this brilliant clash of eras is the definitive design style you need to explain, a classical 19th century furniture form colliding with sleek 1930s aerospace construction methods. This aerospace aesthetic was so literal and so fundamental to the design that the piece was actually named directly in homage to the famous American manufacturer, the Lockheed Corporation. It's the perfect way to tie together that aerodynamic visual style with the final identity of the product.
Now, for the nature of work section of your exam, you need to understand his tools and techniques. Let's humanize his process for a second. Consider this visceral quote. He didn't start with some perfectly polished computer model. No, he started by furiously hacking away at a giant block of foam with a savage wire brush right in a friend's backyard. It was a wildly physical, messy, and deeply hands-on process to carve out that initial, perfect shape before he ever covered it in metal.
And that brings us to a crucial takeaway. You see, design isn't just about making brand new things from scratch. It's about combining completely unexpected elements to solve problems and create something entirely fresh. So I want to leave you with this question to ponder for your own projects. How can the clash of classical shapes and hyper-futuristic materials inspire your own approach to design? Think about that as you organize your notes, and good luck on the exam.